Hey folks, today I'm going to talk to you and give you my opinion about the SoundPEATS Sonics. Their specs, their latency, their sound quality. You're going to hear a real phone call made via the Sonics microphones. And of course, you're going to get my opinion on whether you should spend 35 to 45 bucks on these earbuds. But look, I've been spending a lot of time with the Sonics and I've just been wondering, what's the best way for me to review them? What I decided to do, compare the Sonics with the SoundPEATS flagship offering, the H1. And the H1, in case you missed it, were mentioned in my top 5 earbuds of 2020. And if you did miss it, take a minute to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of the good stuff that I publish in the future. Now, both of these earbuds were at some point in time sent to me by SoundPEATS, which I really totally 100% appreciate. But this is my video, this is my opinion, and it's not influenced by SoundPEATS whatsoever. So stick around and let's see how good the SoundPEATS latest offering, the Sonics, is. How good the latest offering, the Sonics, are. I don't know. So let's rip through the specs so we can get to the good stuff. Now the Sonics case is pretty small. It's really well constructed. It's not really small in any one dimension, which is one of the things that I like, so that you can put it in your fifth pocket of your jeans and not have it bulge out. This will fit, but like I said, it's gonna bulge a little bit. Totally definitely small enough to fit in like a backpack or a regular pocket. And it's smaller than the H1's case by a little bit. The lid on the Sonics case does stay open or closed, whichever way you leave it, and the buds are easy to get in and out of the case. Plus, they seat really well on their charging connectors. Now, the Sonics case charges via USB-C, but not wirelessly. Meanwhile, the H1's case offers, even though it's a little bit larger, it does have wireless charging. The Sonics case uses one light inside the case that indicates the charging status. Unlike some other oddball earbuds that I've actually recently reviewed, the light is really logical and easy to understand. When it's green, it's great. When it's red, it needs to be recharged. The H1, on the other hand, goes for a much more traditional, 4-light arrangement, which is really simple to read. One light left, charge it. So call the case battle a close call, but I do give the edge to the H1 for the added feature of wireless charging, +1 for the H1. Now on to battery life. Wow, man, these two rock the battery. But the Sonics outrock the H1 with 15 hours per charge and 45 hours using the case. That's close with the H1s, which are 10 hours per charge and 40 hours using the case. Score 1 for the Sonics. Okay, let's talk about the buds and comfort. So the Sonic are a smallish earbud, but they do have that long neck, and that long neck seeks to kind of gag your ear canal. But that makes these smallish buds pretty stable in your ears, and they're light, so they don't really move around too much. They do give me some echo while I'm walking around, so I'm really not recommending them for high impact workouts or for running, but you can definitely use them at the gym otherwise. And for those of you who are following my channel pretty consistently, yes, you will be able to, with these Sonic, you will be able to create the manual ambient mode by just, not wearing them like that, but just pulling them out a little bit and getting them in your ears. See, now I can kind of hear what's going on, and I could use this. It won't fall out. Manual ambient mode. Now the H1, on the other hand, they are a slightly larger earbud. It's likely because they have a larger dynamic drivers, and they have a second Knowles balancer armature driver. So they're larger, yes, but they don't insert that far into your ears like the Sonics do. So effectively, you need to really twist the H1s in your ear to get them to rest on your ear most securely. If you can't do that, they're not going to be as secure. But the H1 do come with Comply foam tips, so those are pretty comfortable ear tips, and they're going to give you a really tight seal. So what can I say, right? This is a completely subjective concept, but I prefer the fit of the H1 over the Sonics because it's my personal preference not to have things so deep in my ears. But for some others, they might prefer that kind of tighter, deeper fit of the Sonic. But for me, it's my video, it's my scoring system, +1 for the H1. Let's move on to ANC. Well, neither of these earbuds have ANC, so let's just move straight to Codecs, where we have another kind of stalemate, right? Both of these earbuds support aptX adaptive, AAC, and SBC, and both are straight up fantastic for codec support. Watch whatever you want with these, whether it's movies or Netflix, YouTube, Disney Plus, it just doesn't matter. You're going to have a great video watching experience. These have fantastic syncing of sounds to lips, special effects to their sound, you're going to love them. And here's how my unofficial latency test measures the Sonics. So these are super fast scores on the Sonics, and it shouldn't come as a surprise, right? The Sonics are built on the Qualcomm 3040 chip, and it's really the latest chip in the last half of 2020 and early 2021, and it is fast. In fact, these are the fastest gaming mode earbuds that I've tested, and they're very good in the normal mode too. So rest assured, these will work for movies, and these will work for gaming. And I actually played a lot of Call of Duty Mobile wearing these earbuds, and I mean, I'm wearing and I'm playing and I'm basically forgetting that I'm testing the earbuds. I'm just playing the game. I'm immersed. It's a really, really good experience. How do they compare to the H1? Well, the H1 are technically faster in normal mode and ever so slightly slower in gaming mode. You're not going to be able to hear those minute differences. They're both excellent. I mean, in this category, these are really both at the top of the class. There's just no loser here in terms of how fast these earbuds are from a latency perspective, movie watching, gaming perspective. I'm going to score them both a point. Now, the same can be said of the Bluetooth connectivity and range. The Sonic have excellent Bluetooth connectivity. It's Bluetooth 5.2, and they come with true wireless mirroring technology identical to the H1. So it really just means this true wireless mirroring technology really just means that whichever earbud has the strongest connection to your device, that's the one that's going to connect. The other one will mirror the connection. So you get two things out of that, right? You get better range and you get better battery life. Now that said, I did get slightly better battery. You get slightly better battery life, yeah, out of the Sonics, but I got slightly better range out of the Sonics as well at 95 feet. Now, I hate to really differentiate the two since they're both really good. They have the same chip and everything, but it's probably not even statistically different. But a win's a win, so score 1 for the Sonic on Bluetooth range. Now the Sonic will also work in mono mode, and it's a true mono mode, meaning that you can hear both left and right audio tracks out of either earbud when they're connected in mono mode. Now the same can be said of the H1, so they both have the same Bluetooth chip, they both sharing that same technology. Oh, okay, so let me just talk about how I test that. So I listened to the first 15 seconds of AC/DC's. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, where there's just complete left and right separation. Right at the beginning, there's stuff coming out of the left channel and nothing out of the right channel. So if you're wearing just the right earbud and you don't have true mono mode, you're not going to hear anything in the right earbud until about 8 or 9 seconds into the song. If you have true mono mode, you're going to hear everything right from the get-go on that right earbud. Now the Sonic are also IPX5 rated, just like the H1, so you're going to be able to have any kind of worry-free workouts or walking or running in the rain. It should all be just fine. Oh, I almost forgot to talk about controls, and that would be a real shame because SoundPEATS has really mastered controls. All their earbuds in the last few months have just been rock solid, include everything, and whether it's touch or physical buttons, they just work really great. Now the Sonic have physical button controls and that control everything, right? They control play, pause, previous, next track, volume up, volume down, voice assistant, and gamer mode on and off. And you really should, I would say, learn a simple technique for pushing a physical button in your earbud, which is just use your thumb to just push the earbud up a little bit, and then you can push that button and it will give you no pain whatsoever to use that button. And hey, if you skip the thumb part and you just plain push on that into your ear, don't write me on my channel saying it hurts to push those buttons. Because yeah, it does, but it's so simple. Hey, look, it's a toss-up between the Sonic and the H1 in terms of which controls you prefer. You know, the Sonic have the physical buttons, the H1 have the touch controls, whichever you prefer. I can't score either a point here. They're both excellent. Let's move on to sound quality, starting with maximum volume. The Sonic come in at a blistering 100 decibels of max volume, which is really loud, people. It's really too loud, in fact, so just be careful. And yet the H1, they come in seriously even louder at 105 decibels. Definitely score this round to the H1. So let's move on into more depth of sound quality, right? This is kind of easy, yet really, really hard. The Sonic are a bass head earbud, right? They have 6mm drivers. They deliver huge, punchy bass that's super fun. I'm listening to Sally Walker by Iggy Azalea, and the Sonic just pound out the bass. But SoundPEATS did a really cool thing in the way that they tuned these. They tuned them really well because they equally bring forward the vocals and bright, crispy highs to the party. I mean, the highs on these really sparkle and give the sound this kind of vibrance, and the bass just cannons your head the whole time. It's really fun. So the Sonics are just an awesome pair of earbuds, especially for EDM and hip hop. But surprisingly, because of the way they tune the highs, I found them really nice to listen to piano, guitar, and brass with the earbuds. So they're great and all, right? But then you fire up the H1s and wow, I mean, the Sonics are like a $40 earbud maybe, and the H1s are at least like double that. They're going to be basically double the Sonics. But there is a real difference in the sound quality. The H1s sound incredible, right? The H1s have larger 8.6mm dynamic drivers, and they deliver bass that's equal to, sometimes greater than the Sonics. But there's sort of this layer and spaciousness and depth to the bass that you just don't get in the Sonics. You won't really notice that you're missing it in the Sonics until you compare them to the H1s. And that's really the first difference. The next difference is on the sound stage. The H1 is just doing a better job of making a bigger, more precise, three-dimensional sound stage. It's just kind of hard to see what you're missing in the Sonics until you experience the H1s. The last difference is that on the top end, I mean, Knowles balanced armature drivers can get really bright. They can get really high in the frequency range. And SoundPEATS must have used a lot of reservation in the way that they tuned the H1s, because that Knowles balanced armature driver, I mean, like I said, it could have been tweaked way up too bright, right? But instead, what they did is they let it deliver sound way out high on the spectrum, but they tuned it to deliver everything from kind of beyond that bass, from the mids all the way up to the highs in a kind of smooth and linear fashion. And I found the sound of the H1s to just be very impressive. But look, I think a lot of people might actually prefer the brighter sound signature of the Sonics, because to me, I think that the Sonic sound signature actually might be closer to like the Phil T1 XS or maybe the Earfun Free Pros on the treble side than the H1s. So you're really going to like either one, but you got to know which you prefer before you buy, because if you really like that bright popping treble, you're team Sonic. And if you prefer that depth and smoothness with tremendous range, you're team H1. Let me know in the comments which team you prefer in general. And I score this round like price independent for the H1. But rest assured, if your budget is $40, the Sonic are not going to disappoint. So +1 for the H1. Lastly, let's check out the CVC8 noise canceling mics on the SoundPEATS Sonic. Now they have one mic per earbud, where the H1 have two mics per earbud. So keep that in mind during the test.
This is the SoundPEATS Sonic. This is an earbud from SoundPEATS with CVC8 noise canceling microphones. And these are really deep fitting earbuds. You get a ton of passive noise isolation using these. I didn't do like a quiet background sound test. I mean, some of these starts that go by so to get a real feel for what they sound like with a quiet background. So in addition to that really deep ceiling fit that you get with the SoundPEATS, oh, there's a little bit of a breeze going on as well right now, so you definitely get a chance to see what these will work with with some wind at my background. Let's see. This is in the other direction. I'm now facing that wind, so we'll see if there's a big difference in the way that these sound when you're facing the wind. Now, this car is coming from my back, which is also a different experience, but that wind is picking up even more right now. That is a full sound test, microphone test.
Okay, based on that phone call, the SoundPEATS improved the mics over the H1s. The Sonics pick up my voice better, they're generally louder than the H1, and they sound really natural to me around my voice. Yeah, sure, they struggled when the wind really picked up in the video with those bursts. But man, all microphones, not just earbud microphones, all microphones, even really expensive microphones, struggle against the wind. But I will say, SoundPEATS could, and take this statement with a grain of salt, right? But technically, SoundPEATS could have tweaked the mics on the final production H1 earbuds. And just one other thing to note is if you're going to opt for the $10 more expensive H1 Premium with the SoundPEATS app, which SoundPEATS last update on Indiegogo says should be available around March sometime, that could be an even better experience for the mics. I don't know, but it's possible, right? And by the way, let me know where you think the SoundPEATS Sonics mics rank in my mic series rankings, and I will adjust it. But score 1 for the Sonic on mics. Okay, man, this is super close. So let's sum it up. If your budget is 40 bucks, don't even hesitate to buy the Sonics. Especially if you love vibrant high frequencies, get the Sonic. Because they do sound great. They have massive bass and they really have those vibrant highs. They're great for watching movies and they're great for gaming. Plus the controls, the Bluetooth, the battery life, they're all really just excellent. Now if your budget is more, let's say up to 90 bucks, you're gonna wanna go with the winner here, the H1. But make sure that you don't mind, waiting a little bit longer to get your earbuds because it's still hard to get the H1s off of Indiegogo. You're gonna wanna like your music with a lot of clarity, with powerful layered bass, and now this is important, you're gonna want that smoother, even mids and highs. And I definitely recommend getting the H1 Premiums if you're gonna go with the H1s because that app will give you access to EQ capabilities and firmware updates that I'm sure are going to be worth that $10 premium. Plus you get that wireless charging on the case. Now, especially with the H1 Premium, if you get that equalizer, it could be that you could pump up the treble on the H1s. And that Knowles balanced armature driver should be able to really make the treble at high frequencies sing on these earbuds. All right, everyone, thanks for watching my comparison of the SoundPEATS Sonic and the H1. Let me know what you think of the Sonic versus the H1 in the comments. Hey, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video and my channel. Stay safe, everyone.